In this video, we are going to see what is the importance of compound interest. We have already seen that simple interest is calculated on the original amount, means the principal amount, at given rate of interest for any given time duration. And in that case, principal remains the same for the whole period. But in compound interest, the yearly interest is added to the principal and the amount so obtained is treated as principal for the subsequent year. It means in case of compound interest, we will calculate the interest every year and that is added to the principal, and the new amount will be the new principal for the coming year. Thus, compound interest makes our money grow faster over the time by reinvesting our interest income. And we can see the difference between simple interest and compound interest. In simple interest, the principal amount remains same for the whole time duration and the interest remains the same for each year. But in compound interest, the principal amount changes after every specified period because the interest is added to the principal and that will be the principal for the next year. So the principal changes and the interest is different for each year. Now we will see one example. Find the compound interest on a sum of 8,000 rupees at 10% per annum for 3 years compounded annually. So here it is given we have to find the compound interest and the interest is compounded annually. So in that case we have to use compound interest method to calculate the interest. And now in a normal method we will calculate the interest every year and it is added to the principal. So here first we will take principal for the first year. Principal for the first year means the original amount, it is 8,000. Now we will calculate the interest for the first year. It is equal to PRT divided by 100. That means 8,000 into 10 into 1 upon 100. Here T is taken as 1 because we are calculating the interest only for 1 year. And it is calculated every year. So 8,000 into 10 into 1 upon 100, which is equal to 800. So the principal for the first year is 8,000 and interest for the first year is 800. Now in the next step we will add this interest to the principal. That means 800 is added to 8,000, which is 8,800, and that will be the principal for the next year, for the second year. So amount after 1 year will be the principal for the second year. So we can write principal for the second year is equal to 8,000 plus 800. That means the principal for the first year plus interest for the first year, which is equal to 8,800. Now we can calculate the interest on this amount. So interest for the second year is equal to 8,800 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 1 by 100. Here also T is taken as 1 because we are calculating interest only for the second year. And we will get it as 880. Then principal for the third year is equal to 8,800, which is the principal for the second year, plus interest for the second year, that is 880, which gives 9,680, and this will be the amount after 2 years, otherwise principal for the third year. Then interest for the third year is equal to the principal, that means 9,680 multiplied by rate of interest 10 multiplied by T time period 1 divided by 100, which is equal to 968. Now we have calculated interest for the time period, I mean for 3 years, so we can find amount after 3 years. Otherwise amount at the end of the third year is equal to 9,680 plus 968, which is equal to 10,648. This is the amount after the whole time period, that is 3 years. Then compound interest for these 3 years can be calculated by using the formula A minus P. A means amount, P means the original principal amount. So A is equal to 10,648 minus P is equal to 8,000, which gives 2,648. Otherwise, we can find the compound interest for 3 years by adding the interest for each year. Interest for the first year is 800. Interest for the second year is 880, and interest for the third year is 968. So if you add these 3 amounts, we will get the same compound interest, 2,648. Now second example. Find the compound interest on 12,500 in 3 years if the rate of interest is 8% for the first year, 5% for the second year, and 4% for the third year. Here we can see that in the question we can see that the rate of interest is different for different years. For each year the rate of interest is different. So here also we will follow the normal method. We can calculate the compound interest by calculating the interest each year. Principal for the first year is equal to 12,500, which is the original principal amount. Interest for the first year is equal to PRT divided by 100. P means the principal, R means rate of interest. For the first year, rate of interest is given as 8% into 1. 1 means time period. Here T is 1 because interest is calculated only for 1 year upon 100, which is equal to 1000. Now principal for the second year means we have to add the principal for the first year and interest for the first year. When we add these two amounts, we will get the principal for the second year. So 12,500 plus 1000, which is equal to 13,500. Now we can calculate the interest. Interest for the second year is equal to, again PRT divided by 100, 13,500 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 1 upon 100. Here P is changing, principal is changing, so principal is 13,500. Then R is 5 because in the question it is given 5% for the second year. For the second year rate of interest is given 5%. So that's why 5 into 1 upon 100, which is equal to 675. Now principal for the third year. Principal for the third year is equal to 13,500 plus 675, which is equal to 14,175. This is the amount after 2 years, otherwise principal for the third year. Now interest calculated. Interest for the third year is equal to 14,175 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 1 the whole upon 100. Here rate of interest is taken as 4 since it is given in the question. Then we will get 567 as the interest. Now all the 3 years over, so we can write amount after 3 years. No need to take principal for the next year. We can find the amount. Amount after 3 years is equal to 14,175 plus 567, which is equal to 14,742. Now we can calculate the compound interest in 2 ways, either by taking the formula A minus P, which is equal to 14,742 minus 12,500, which gives 2,242. Otherwise, if you take the interest each year, first interest for the first year is 1000, interest for the second year is 675, and interest for the third year is 567. If you add these 3 amounts, we will get again the compound interest as 2,242. So this is the way we have to find the amount in case of compound interest.